What's up, Internet world? We're the News 19 Nerds. I'm Leroy.
I'm Michael.
And we're here for the world-changing, world-building extravaganza that is Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, we're here for something.
Hallelujah!
Don't you sing that song?
Hallelujah!
Yeah.
Hallelujah!
So right off the top,
Hallelujah!
you're supposed to go down. You went up, but it's fine.
I don't know how.
I'm just saying, you're supposed to go down on that note.
I don't know.
It's fine. Right off the top, Leroy has seen the whole movie. I'm only 3 hours into it, so this will be a non-spoiler review.
Yeah, we're going to do a spoilery one where we break down and nitpick stuff, but
Yeah.
this is going to be an overview of what this movie is and what it attempts to, the rights it attempts to correct. And we'll talk about some of the wrongs because I have my opinion of it, but I'm for those people who are like, I'm hoping this is what people wanted when they said the Snyder Cut exists. This is what they wanted. But also, if this movie isn't for you, I want you to look at it through a different prism and then see if that changes your mind.
Okay.
What do you think so far? So you're 3 hours in. How come you haven't finished it?
Honestly, because of work.
Okay.
For those who do know, we
attempt.
We're based out of Columbia, South Carolina, and depending on when this goes up, the Carolinas were under threat of severe weather for a little bit.
Oh yeah. Get your weather radios,
right.
charge us.
So we came in
stuff.
early.
But you came in early.
I came in early.
My sitter didn't get there till
I came in a little earlier that day when the Snyder League was coming. League, whatever. You know,
Snyder'S.
Snyder'S cut came out. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of tired by the time I got home. I tried to watch it, started going to sleep, and it's a long movie. It's 4 hours and 2 minutes. I've seen a lot of people say it just flew by for them. It did not for me.
So, friend of the show, Avery, Ledwell, Avery loved it.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm all in. He said it flew by. He said it was, hold on, I want to get exactly what he said because I don't want to put words in his mouth.
Right, and I've heard other people say it also flew by. It did not fly by for me, and that could be because I was personally tired. And I tried to watch it again this morning, and I had to come in here just because I'm on a different shift this week. So I'll finish it up. Shut up. I'll finish it up this weekend. Off the bat, I feel like one of the biggest questions people know is this better than Joss Whedon's Snyder or Joss Whedon's Justice League? I feel like the movie that Joss Whedon put out in 2017, this movie is better than that. Oh, I can say I'm enjoying this movie more than that. I am curious what would have happened if Joss Whedon was from the beginning got to do his own Justice League and not have to use other shots. I'm curious about that. But I'm enjoying this movie more than Joss Whedon's Justice League.
I enjoyed it. I got to watch it. So it came out 3 a.m. on Eastern Standard Time, midnight on, if you guys are on the West Coast. If you guys in the Midwest, whatever, we don't care about you. I mean, isn't that what they tell them in the media? They're flyover states. They don't care about us. We do, but not Texas. Still mad at you, Texas, for what you did to me. You know what you did.
I don't know what they did, but okay.
They know what they did.
Okay, keep going.
Actually, it's not the whole state. It's just one company.
Great. Just talk about this movie.
Anyway,
as long as the cut is.
Basically, I liked it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't. I preface this by saying, I love Man of Steel. I really do. I like Man of Steel. I talked to another friend of the show that I saw at the comic book store. James Gilbert used to work here. We talked about it, and he was not a fan of Man of Steel for the caveat of because Clark Kent, Kal-El, let his adopted father die. Mm-hmm. And he's like, that's not what Superman would have done. I position, not retconning this, but when you look at what Zack Snyder has been trying to do throughout his entire franchise, that makes sense because the Superman that everybody has their own interpretation of these characters.
Sure.
Understand that these characters that Zack Snyder is using is not necessarily this Batman. in that Wonder Woman. It's not necessarily the Arkham Knight Batman. It's not. So it's an amalgamation of what he feels these characters represent.
Sure.
So when you watch it through a particular lens, which I'm going to give you, and I'm going to let you think about it for a second. This is not. I see his face. Bruce Timm's Batman, Superman, Justice League.
This is the animated Justice
No,
League.
this is Zack Snyder's Justice League. And Zack Snyder seems to be more influenced by the what if versus the what is. And I say that because I watch this movie and this franchise through the prism of Zack Snyder is doing the Injustice League universe. That's what all of this is. He's not doing what you would consider the standard truth, justice in the American way. We're going to protect. He's doing a darker version of what happens if these characters do not learn to work together and they're at each other's throats, and what happens when they finally do get it together. They rise above this challenge. But in the back of the mind, you're always wondering, is he on our side? And that, when you look at it through the Injustice game prism, the graphic novel, when you look at it through that prism and you realize that's kind of, I'm not saying that's what he's going for, but if you look at it that way, you're like, oh my gosh, this is genius.
So in terms of non-spoilery stuff, if you've played the Injustice video games, which I would recommend, even if you don't like fighting games, the stories are pretty fun.
Hell, just watch the YouTube videos of the
True. Yeah, you could watch the
I did that
Let's
for,
Plays.
I've done that many times.
Yeah.
Because I love watching certain people get their ass kicked.
With Shazam. Man. Spoiler alert for the game.
Billy Batson he got all the hands.
Yes. They killed him, right? Did he die?
Son, they killed everybody.
Yeah. Anyway, this movie definitely follows a lot of beats to that for sure, and I can see that.
And when think about it, so that's why I said think about it. So if you remember, the whole idea behind this movie is we get Man of Steel. We have Clark shows up, whether or not the world will accept him. We get Batman versus Superman. I don't like Batman versus Superman. However,
you like the director's cut?
No.
Oh, okay.
The whole premise of the movie bothers me because I have a problem with Batman not being that smart. And I have a problem with Lex Luthor.
He's the world's greatest detective.
And I have a problem with that whole scenario. But if you look at it through the lens, and this is why I bring up James Gilbert in our conversation, he had a problem with Superman letting his father die and then Superman killing Zod. If you look at it through the lens that everybody is watching this man and trying to figure out, is he human? Is he a god? What is he? While Clark is trying to figure that out, what am I? And then you remember beginning of Batman versus Superman. And this is why I love Man of Steel and why it doesn't help Justice League for a lot of people, but I look at it like this. I love Man of Steel for a number of reasons, but the main reason why I love it is because to me, this is the first time in a movie that you get to see how powerful Superman really is.
In
terms of Man of Steel,
okay.
Batman versus Superman, and then Justice League.
Okay.
Because this is the thing that you have to remember, and I throw back to the Justice League animated adventures to a little bit. The beginning of Batman versus Superman, you saw Bruce Wayne watch the Zod fight, and you saw how devastating that was to Metropolis. That's one guy.
Right.
He fought all of the Kryptonians to protect us. Batman's idea is that what if he switches sides? Like how do we stop him? And that's how Batman always thinks.
Right.
He's always thinking like that. So that's why I kind of have that problem with the whole premise of Lex Luthor. Anyway, when you look at it through that prism, that Superman is so powerful, you have to, if you're a smart individual, what happens if he turns? This was the first time you get to see that. And in a cinematic universe, and this is the thing that I bring back to the Justice League animated adventures, the last episode. Spoiler alert, Darkseid shows up. He escapes because Luthor and Grodd and all of those idiots freaking unleash Darkseid.
Because they're thinking that's going to help them.
They think find Brainiac.
Yeah.
So Luthor, with Brainiac talking to him, unleashes Darkseid. Darkseid sends his armada to Earth and starts pointing out like Babe Ruth, home runs.
Yeah.
Just
destroying property.
Superman and Darkseid about to fight. Superman says something to Darkseid you have not heard him say before any other time. I've always had to hold back.
Right.
But with you, you can take it.
Yeah.
Man of Steel was one of the first times we got to see him, like I know a lot of people are going to be like, what about Superman 2? Really? Do you really want to go there? Okay, let's go there. He fought 3 people. He kissed Lois Lane. She forgot. Like, it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. I love that movie. It doesn't work. The power that Superman is, and when you realize when he's fighting Zod, there is no way out in this franchise for him. He has to put Zod down. Mm-hmm. Batman, Bruce Wayne is like, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. What happens? Nightmareverse. Mm-hmm. That's amazing when you think about all of that, and then you get to Justice League, and that's why I say when you look at it through that prism, I understand it all makes sense, mm-hmm. and it makes Justice League, Joss Whedon's version, so bad because when you finish the movie and you realize they went with this version mm-hmm. over what Zack was trying to pull.
And not to give stuff away, but depending on how you watch this, later tonight in our press play, we're going to talk about franchise fatigue in terms of how stuff works. And it kind of, this part of this review will tie into that in terms of having too many people at the kitchen to be the head person or whatever. What is it? Too many
chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah. You need
a singular version.
Having Kevin Feige be over everything is smart on Marvel's part.
Not only that, so let's go look at other franchises that has one person, and then you have producers, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Mm-hmm. When you look at how they shepherd their franchises and how they've done things, or if you look at Tom Cruise mm-hmm. and his Mission Impossible, he has a particular vision that he has, and he gets it executed.
Right.
Zack Snyder had a vision. You may not agree with what he was trying to do. I don't like Batman versus Superman. I understand it. I just don't like it. Mm-hmm. But I can appreciate it.
Yeah.
Give Zack Snyder what he wanted to do, because what you ended up with was a terrible mishmash. What you ended up with was AI.
Yeah.
Remember? Stanley Kubrick, and then here comes Steven Spielberg, and you can literally tell it was 2 different movies.
Yeah. And then going back to Justice League, non-spoiler stuff, there's always that thought experiment of whenever a director comes onto a movie and then they're working on it from the beginning, then they leave and somebody else comes on, mm-hmm. and usually you only see the finished product. You usually don't get to see, I wonder what the original director is going to do. This is kind of, I'm not going to say this is the only time, but this is one of the few times I feel like, and people in the chat let me know.
Donner cut.
Okay, yeah. I know there are other examples, but
look how long that took.
This is at least the most recent example of, you can kind of see one version versus the other. And
it is diametrically different.
It's interesting because even though it is different, the beats are pretty much there.
The beats are the same, but I think what happened was, and we've had reporting, and thank you for all the wonderful reporters out there who have dissected and talked to different people, interviewing Zack Snyder. They've talked to certain people in the cast and crew. When Zack Snyder was pulled off the movie, we know for various reasons, and then Joss Whedon came in. Warner Brothers gave him a mandate. It's got to be 2 hours. Mm-hmm. They literally were like, and so he had to reshoot things, and then you can see in this 4-hour cut, Cyborg stands out.
Uh-huh.
I would posit 3 people stand out in this film who did not stand out in the original: Cyborg, Flash. You don't know who the third is?
I was gonna say Lois Lane so far.
Nah.
Oh, for who's it for you?
Steppenwolf. Oh. Steppenwolf stands out because you see what his motivation is.
Yeah,
he's not just a hulking.
Yeah.
It's not. You get more of an insight of why he's doing this.
Much like the Batman v Superman director's cut, it is nice to have that supplemental footage of getting motivations for all these characters for why they're doing stuff and how stuff flows along. But I was saying, like, so a lot of the beats are similar in Joss Whedon's movie in terms of, okay, this happens here, this happens here. But you kind of get more background in terms of leading stuff up. And then there are a lot of times where scenes, you could see the scene that Joss Whedon had, and then now you kind of get to see the original scene that Zack Snyder has, and you're like, oh, the wording is different, the dialogue's different.
And not only that, the sequence is different. So you get to see, so if you remember, when Steppenwolf goes to Atlantis, there's a whole nother scene that builds up to, like, that. And I know you can do the whole, he's searching in other boxes, and this is how, but to get the little interactions between Steppenwolf and the parademons, and then getting Steppenwolf talking to Desaad, that fills in so much more motivation for Steppenwolf. Now, granted, I still will say this is Zack Snyder's movie. For what Zack Snyder wanted to do, it is good. It is not my Justice League. This movie will turn off a lot of people. We've seen a lot of people already upset and not liking it.
Having said that, this movie is steeped in comic book lore in terms of, I don't know who Desaad is.
Oh,
I'm like, who's this? I mean, I could figure it out from context clues. They don't really set this person up. If you're like a casual person, who are you? And where'd you come from?
And you're like, who's the blonde lady? And you're
kinda, and it's like, I know Darkseid just from pop culture and stuff, but it's like, and they kind of set him up. But like, Desaad, I don't really feel like they introduced him who he was at first.
And then the black suit, you don't get like why he's like. It's just a lot of it's just. It's almost like they need you going in. You need to know some stuff already.
Yeah. But so far, I enjoy it more than Joss Whedon's Joss Whedon's Justice League, which isn't hard. That movie. This movie isn't trying to be as funny as Joss Whedon, which,
although
to be fair,
it has a lot of comedy.
It does have humorous parts for sure, but it's
when Batman said I work for him.
Yeah, it's not trying to be as funny and I guess as Marvel as Joss Whedon's Justice League was.
But see, and this
which I think is fine.
And this is for those people who say Zack Snyder was trying to do something different, and Marvel Disney-fies everything. And I can understand what people are saying. However, if you watch what Marvel has done recently, you realize that just because it's brighter doesn't mean it's not as dark as far as subject matter. In terms of color palette, this movie is dark. Oh yeah, like just color-wise dark compared to Joss Whedon. But that's what he wants. But that's what he wants. And so when I literally pulled a Leo DiCaprio at one point in the movie. And I'm going to say this because it blew my mind that he said it. One, if Joe Morton is in the movie and he's your dad, you're effed. First of all, Joe Morton, I love him. But if Joe Morton is your dad and he's dealing with computers, any kind of technology, you are effed to the A. And not only you, the world might be. The world might be. Yeah. He built Skynet. Yeah. He's the father of Olivia Pope. What else? What else has Joe Morton caused catastrophe in the world and the universe? His offspring don't fare well. Oh no. So hats off to him. Cyborg, Ray Fisher. I understand why he's upset because there's no way you could have watched Zack Snyder's movie or what he was attempting to do, and then look at Josh Whedon and go, yeah, let's go with that. Yeah. Because you understand he was like when Wonder Woman says, I can't imagine what has happened to you. Mm-hmm. I can't because I saw it. Right. I know what happens to him. Right. He was literally a broken action figure on the wall. Yeah. And he was infused with alien technology. But this is, hold on, I'm looking for, what did he say? Hold on. He says, it is the burden of this responsibility. Mm-hmm. And that's the whole crux of how Zack Snyder views these heroes versus how Marvel or anybody else views their heroes. Mm-hmm. If you watch something like The Boys, their heroes are corporate. They're maniacally sadistic fascists and some Nazis, but they're not good people, right, with the exception of Starlight. Yeah. They're not, because they are created by a corporation for profit and to take over the world. If you go back and you look at the Marvel characters, they have things that are thrust upon them and they rise to the occasion. DC heroes in the DCU that Zack Snyder created, it is a burden. It is a burden to do these things because they are broken people. And it isn't until the end of the movie that something happens and then Cyborg says something and you're like, you see this. If you look at every character in that movie, you look at how Batman came to be. When you look at the only person who really got a happy start is Barry Allen. And if you think about it,
did he?
His
dad's in prison.
His dad's in
mom's
prison.
Death.
What I'm saying is
Murder, I guess. But yeah.
Murder. But when you look at what Barry Allen's the only happy person in the movie.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And so when you look at personality-wise, and Barry Allen was the first spark of hope in the movie. Because everything was doom and gloom when Batman comes over, the Scottish hills on, his horse. And that cinematography. Holy cow.
Well,
that cinematography.
They always say visionary Zack Snyder, and there's a reason why. He knows how to shoot stuff.
Say what you will about his movies. Say what you will. I do not like Sucker Punch. I love Man of Steel. I think 300 is perfect. I ride for Dawn of the Dead and Man of Steel. That opening, you know what that opening reminded me of?
What?
Prometheus.
Okay.
And so, just for that. But when you think about the hope in the movie, it doesn't show up until Barry Allen does. When Barry Allen sees Iris and Barry Allen saves Iris, that was one of my favorite parts of the movie. Like that, just that whole, and I don't even like all the slow motion. That movie probably could have been 2 hours if they didn't have all the slow motion in it.
There's a lot of slow motion in the movie.
But that part, it worked. When Barry Allen sees Iris and you see the two of them together, you're like, oh, that's on-screen chemistry. So, that's one of the things I think you have to go into it with that frame of mind. You have to go into it realizing these heroes are burdened with this responsibility. Man of Steel. Superman doesn't even save his own father because he does not know what to do.
Right.
Batman versus Superman Bruce Wayne is broken because he's still getting over the loss of a Robin. Then you fast forward to Diana. Diana is still pining over one dude in 5,000 years.
Yeah.
First of all, Chris Pine, bravo, because I've never seen a man hold down one woman for generations.
Yeah.
She's broken. Then you meet Cyborg. He's physically broken. Aquaman has daddy issues. Also, hats off to Zack Snyder because that was what I wanted Aquaman to be. I'm not knocking the movie. Is it Justin? Is it which guy did Aquaman? Oh man, but
it's somebody. It's a horror guy, right?
But I thought it was a Fast and Furious guy too.
I think that guy was a producer.
Okay. Look that up. Aquaman got redeemed. That whole Mira. First of all, Amber Heard looked great. How does Amber Heard look better in a 4-hour movie she was in for 5 minutes? James Wan. How does she look better in Zack Snyder's movie for 5 minutes than in all of Aquaman? First of all, that wig was atrocious. Burn it. Burn it on the pyre that you use to burn the bodies for the Amazon that the Amazons did. Burn that wig. Don't you ever bring that shit back. I'm mad about that wig. 2, underwater fight with Steppenwolf, so much better. That was amazing.
You gonna spoil anything else in the movie? Or?
No, that's not a spoiler. That happened in Josh Whedon's version too. The whole underwater fight. Just Zack did a better job with it.
Okay.
But but that's what I'm saying. If you look at these characters and realize how broken they are and how much trauma and pain they're dealing with, and still in the face of that, are still trying to do their best to help other people. Cyborg, what he did. Oh, I was like, is Sarah McLachlan around here somewhere? It's like, I'm waiting on the puppy. When she's like, I was like, I'm waiting, and you, if you donate today. I was like, oh, pull at the heartstrings. And I say all of these glowing things because Zack Snyder finally got his justice. See what I did there? But it still isn't my Justice League. I still want a different version. But I can appreciate what we got.
Okay. So that's our non-spoiler stuff. We'll do a spoiler review.
Did that for you. The people.
Did it for the people. You guys let us know if you have seen it.
What you think?
Yeah, what's your favorite part? What's your least favorite part?
Yeah.
Actually, don't put that in the non-spoiler. Put that in the spoiler.
I mean,
just
they can.
Just tell us if you like
I mean,
it.
they can. I mean, because I've watched it. I'll answer the comments. We'll do a more nitpicky one. Breakdown, Easter eggs, little things like that. I viewed through the prism of this is the Injustice universe, and this is what we're building up to. However, I am mad with Zack Snyder because you gave me this for 3 seconds.
So this is spoiler stuff?
No. You know he was in there.
I didn't know he was in Zack Snyder's thing.
Yeah, he is.
I didn't know.
He showed up for reshoots. Have you not been paying attention?
No.
Obviously.
I don't do all that.
Yeah, he the boat scene.
Okay.
Yeah. We get him. I want more. Flashpoint better have this. You know who that is?
It looks like a Batman.
But you see who it is?
Looks like an old Batman.
Guess who it is?
I mean, I assume it's the one for Batman Beyond.
Thomas Wayne.
Oh.
In the multiverse, Bruce Wayne dies. Thomas Wayne becomes Batman. Comes out with the 45s. Guess who becomes the Joker?
His mama.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I want. And so I hats off to Zack Snyder because he went in a different direction. He gave us characters that, and one, I don't think we've ever seen Deathstroke look that good on screen. And I know what I'm saying. I know I'm calling shots. Joe Manganiello looked great. That Deathstroke looked great. Oh, you're gonna love the ending. I give him credit for attempting to do something different. Again, I want a more hokier, happier Justice League. I wanted the Justice League, JLU, Justice League Animated Adventures. That is my Justice League, the comics. But I can appreciate what he was attempting to do. It may not be for me, it may not be for you, but at least I can say, oh, this is a totally better movie. However, more of this. I better see him in Flashpoint. That's all I'm saying. Get your stuff together, DC, Warner Brothers.
Friends of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you need somebody to talk to.
Talk to him because I don't care that much.
You care.
Not that.
If Warner Brothers called you, wouldn't be like, hey, man.
I'd be like, y'all stupid.
Oh, really?
No, stupid for calling me. I was like, why are you calling me?
Maybe they want an outside opinion, man. Maybe they want somebody to be like, Michael, tell us where we were wrong.
Oh, God. So people can come after me? I have to get a ghostwriter or something. Anyway.
I love a fight.
Yeah.
Bring it!
Like, comment, subscribe on this video. Hit the bell to know when we put up more videos.
Yep.
You find us here on YouTube, Twitter.
Oh, so far, what are you giving it?
Probably give it 3 out of 5.
Same.
Yeah, 3 out of 5.
Don't do it. Don't say it, because that's what I'm going to say.
I don't think we're going to say the same thing. 3 out of 5 hot dogs.
I was going to say mother boxes.
Oh, yeah, now we're doing mother boxes. 3 out of 5 hot dogs.
Yeah, I liked it. It's worth the 4 hours. I watched it in parts because of my son. It was worth it. And for those people who wanted this, I hope this makes you happy. For those people, this isn't for you. Don't ruin it for other people. Don't be a prick. You know, some things are not for you. It wasn't necessarily for me, but I can appreciate it because it was a different version. And I can appreciate what Zack Snyder was trying to do.
Okay. You done? Because I've been trying to end this thing like 3 different times. You keep talking.
I mean, they're here for it.
They're not. Because who going to cut it? You cutting this? I'm cutting this?
I mean, you ain't been doing nothing all day.
See you later, folks.